Hello everyone and welcome back to DreamHack Summer. We have the last game of the top 16 now, so we'll decide what the last match is going to be and who's going to make the top 8 as the last player here. And I'm Raven, joined for this cast. We have a Firebat returning to cast, of course, and a special guest in the form of Gara. Welcome to the desk.
Hi.
Hello. So the next match we have coming up is going to be a really good one. We have SenX versus Fr0zen. And again, these guys are playing for that final spot in the top 8. So loser goes home. The winner goes through to tomorrow. So, what can you tell me about Fr0zen?
Fr0zen's a North American player.
Yeah.
He's from Michigan. He lives about 8 minutes from me. So
That's a very specific number. Like,
yeah,
8 minutes. Trust me, I've done this. 8 minutes.
Yeah, like, I don't know, Fr0zen. He's pretty close by. We play on like Google Hangouts together a bunch. He's one of the players that's like I would go to as a practice partner. So Fr0zen's a really good player, really solid. He hasn't really gotten his like breakout moment yet, but you can tell he's really trying and really pushing for it. Coming all the way from Michigan, all the way to Sweden to try and compete in this DreamHack and make a name for himself. So
yeah, I think in Austin he got top 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going good performances in back-to-back DreamHacks, but no messing about here. We're gonna go straight into this game. So it's gonna be Fr0zen versus SenX, and I'll leave this one to you guys. Enjoy the game.
Mm-hmm. So what do you know about SenX? Because I don't really know SenX too much. I know there was a SenX hunter a really long time ago, and we see him leading off as the hunter.
Okay, the most recent thing I know about SenX is that he 3-0'd me in the tournament.
Okay. So you don't like SenX?
Nah, it's fine. Yeah, I got 3-0'd by his Pirate Warrior.
Okay.
And
Pirate
it's not
Warrior.
banned.
Interesting.
I think his Shaman was banned.
All right, yeah. Banning Shaman makes a lot of sense, but
Yeah.
they're really slow mulligans. They're waiting for each other's mulligans, trying to get reads on how many cards they mulligan, figure things out. Also, by the way, they have the names flip-flopped. Fr0zen is the Asian guy, and SenX is the white guy. So, just for anyone that was curious.
Is the mulligan done? Or
No, it appears to be SenX waiting to see how many cards Fr0zen's keeping, and little does he know Fr0zen's keeping all 4 cards. So he's trying to get a little bit more information out of it there, and unable to do so. Oh, we have a little bit of a spectator bug going on, so maybe that was what was happening with the mulligans as well. So now we're on camera, and we're trying to get this resolved as quickly as possible. Hopefully we don't miss too much of the early turns and the development that's going on.
so yeah, SenX had like a break. I think he said so himself in the interview earlier. I mean, he was known actually from one of the very, very first tournaments in Hearthstone, like the first IEM.
Okay.
Where I think Nimsh won that one, if I'm not mistaken.
All the way back then, like
it's like
2014.
yeah,
Wow.
2014 is
So
like
SenX has been around.
yeah, and then he got like popular by his hunter, the SenX hunter. It was the Naiman hunter and the SenX hunter, like the 2 different lists, and he kind of disappeared in 2015, and now it seems to be that he's back.
Yeah, the comeback series for him. He's trying to make a big comeback and stand out in DreamHack Summer. And he has a lot of trees in front of him that he's got to take down if he's going to want to be making that breakout appearance. No Unleash the Hounds to combat it. He's going to go with the Animal Companion here, just get that on the field. Typically speaking, Hunter in the past has been pretty favored against Druid, but how do you feel that matchup has sort of changed and evolved now with Whispers of the Old God and Standard coming out?
It's very different because people play very, very different Druid lists.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
every game feels so different. Like people run York, some people run Maligos, some people run Katoon, and some people open with double Living Roots turn 1.
Yeah. It's a tough opening for Hunter to deal with without Unleash the Hounds, especially since Hunter's been moving away from having Knife Juggler in their deck. They don't really have great ways to deal 1 damage, and even Unleash the Hounds is pretty uncommon as a 2-of. Sometimes it's in as a 1-of, or sometimes not at all.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know. Like without Savage Roar, this is not even that powerful, right?
Yeah, it's not too threatening. He may not even trade them in, hold on to them for better value later on. I believe Fr0zen is playing the Yogg-Saron Druid, which does run like 2 copies of Power of the Wild and 2 copies of Raven Idol to try and find things to use it. But he is just going to go in and run those trees in there.
Another thing is that almost nobody in this tournament runs Unleash the Hounds, which is kind of crazy. Like not even as a 1-off.
Yeah, it's an interesting card that falls in and out, and it's out right now. I know a lot of players are really passionate about Unleash the Hounds and think it's just a great card almost in every meta. Like, almost every Hunter deck I've ever seen Kalento play, for example, he has at least 1 copy, if not 2 copies of Unleash the Hounds in his deck.
Especially now almost everyone has like Shaman and Zoo,
Yeah,
and at least against one of those matchups, it's
you can sometimes
super
sneak a win, right?
yeah.
Even though it doesn't make the matchup favored for you, at least gives you a chance.
And people don't play around it, like
Yeah.
literally nobody.
Yeah, because they don't expect it. All right, we see Wild Growth coming out just to get additional mana, maybe follow up with Emperor Thorson the following turn, or at least have Fandral and be able to use the Raven Idol with the Fandral to get the 2 cards off of it.
Yeah, so this is York.
Yeah, it's definitely the Yogg Druid. And how do you play as a hunter knowing that your opponent is playing Yogg Druid?
I think you just want to kill him before he plays York.
So
because,
play really aggressively.
like, even if you have like the biggest board,
Just
York,
disappears.
York can just bring you back into the game,
Yeah,
and even more.
absolutely ridiculous card, right?
Yeah, like sometimes when I'm like, okay, I cannot think of any possibility to win the game, then I just play York, and then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that
That'll do it. That's enough spells.
first spell, enter the Colosseum, is a good start.
Okay. Craziest Yoggs of all time.
Yeah. It's like I think Emperor is almost always good if you have like a couple cards. It doesn't really matter what it reduces.
Mm-hmm.
It's always sick. Like
Fandral's a good one to reduce as well too, especially. And
Yeah.
even the swipes, it can be paired up with spell power a lot easier. So, of all things considered, even though it's only 4 cards, those are 4 pretty good cards to get reduced by Emperor Thorson.
I mean, yeah, he can hero power for 5, heal for 8, and get 2 cards
Yeah, that's pretty
for
nuts.
7.
That's a good 7-mana turn. Fandral is just so powerful, so powerful. Do you think Fandral is even on the side of maybe too powerful?
I think so. If you want to make Druid broken again, Fandral is definitely one of the cards
Mm-hmm.
that will help make it happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. SenX doesn't have great ways to deal with this Emperor Thorson, and it looks like he's playing with the idea of just ignoring it.
Yeah. The thing is, I think that SenX just runs 1 trap total, so
Okay.
everyone knows it's like this is the freezing trap.
Sure. And he's going to just swing the bow charge, not expecting that the Emperor Thorson is going to be waltzing into this freezing trap. So this way he can have the bow charge again for next turn. And he's kind of doing what you said he would be doing, just playing super aggressively. So aggressively, in fact, he's ignoring Emperor Thorson and prioritizing pushing damage. And he's maybe getting a little bit punished for it here.
Yeah.
See the Raven Idol coming out. Fr0zen maybe looking for...
Oh. Actually, if you see him using the bow like
Yeah.
that, would you expect a second bow?
I would expect a second bow every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do see Fr0zen also making that read, picking
Well,
up.
Over Cairn even though like his hand is empty, he still picks it over Cairn.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy.
Pretty crazy. And Living Roots here works great with the Fandral, allowing him to fully clear the board. He can Fandral down the Toad and even just swipe the Bear if he wants to. And he's got Heal in his hand for a bit later on. Or he doesn't even need to swipe the Bear. He can use the...
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
go for a rage. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
2 mana, 4 damage, heal for 8.
Pretty crazy.
Like
Able to take down the Misha and gain 4 life. Able to make 2 1/1s and kill the huge Toad. And it looks like he is just going to be playing the Bloodsail Corsair here to fill out his
wait,
curve.
that makes no sense. Then I would definitely pick Cairn.
Yeah, picking something that's higher value to fill out your hand, but he is under a lot of pressure, I guess, so he feels like he needs the most on the board possible to be able to deal with high main, maybe, but...
I mean,
Well, he can get it back, though, is the thing. It can proc the freezing
but
trap.
he could just bow it.
Yeah, he could just bow it, too, yeah. That is true.
That's like, I guess.
Then you're wasting a bow charge on it anyway, so it's getting the same job done,
yeah,
maybe?
Yeah, that could be it.
Sure.
But it's weird though, right? He makes the read and then he just plays it as a 1/2. It's like just to taunt him. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it definitely makes him not want to play the bow.
It's like, hey, bro, I know you have the bow. Look what I picked.
Sure, yeah. There's so much pressure on the board for SenX, and he doesn't have great ways to react to this. He doesn't have the Unleash the Hounds. He doesn't have very good key removal cards, and he tried to be super aggressive, ignoring the Emperor Thorson,
Yeah.
and is getting really punished for it. Just absolutely destroyed here. The discounts were able to allow Fandral to do some crazy things, but do you still think it's the correct line, like, overall from that position?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he has to. And the biggest problem is those are 2 minions the opponent can just leave on the board. He doesn't have to run them into freezing trap.
Mhm.
Or he still keeps with the line. Like Fandral and Emperor are completely fine just staying on the board.
Yeah, he's committed to it now, right?
Yeah.
There's no turning back anymore. He has to continue going all in and just hoping to close out the game in time before the Emperor Thorson and Fandral gather too much value. But it's already looking pretty scary, and Fr0zen is going to be able to get this this pirate Fr0zen and then be able to use that to take away a charge of the bow, but he also has to give a charge of the bow to SenX.
Yeah. It's a crazy though, because there's no clear answer in the Hunter deck to deal with those 1/1s.
Yeah, yeah, unless he runs Unleash the Hounds, which
but
he may not. Yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
Okay, then there is no clear answer.
So yeah, as you can see, nobody plays around it. Like he just plays more minions. Like back in the days, at 3 minions, that was the absolute maximum.
Yeah, so especially back in the day when Buzzard was around as well. That got really scary, and then when Knife Juggler was a 3/2 and was just in every Hunter deck, the removal of that from all the Hunter decks because of the nerf on it has really changed the meta up a little bit. You see all of this, even the smallest little card nerfs affect a lot of the decks so dramatically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's drawing the right cards for his plan, but
Yeah.
he's dead pretty soon.
Yeah, there's how much damage on the board from the Druid already? That's 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 damage on the board from the Druid.
It's 27 for sure.
27 for sure. And he's got a swipe in the hand for 1 mana. It's just... SenX needs to be clearing here, and that's going to leave him really short on damage if he's forced in a situation where he has to clear, because there's no way he can clear all of the minions. So it's just like clearing just enough to live 1 more turn, and then what damage is he going to draw on top of this to close out the game, really?
Yeah, it's basically over. It doesn't matter. Like even if he, let's say he uses Deadly Shot and double Quick Shot, can he survive? Probably if he hits the
right
Emperor.
targets, sure, yeah.
I mean,
But can he set up lethal, though? Can he set up to win the game? Maybe with Call of the Wild. Like, Call of the Wild's a good card, but this good?
yeah.
Probably not.
Like even if he uses everything face, he cannot set up lethal.
Right, and he is going to use everything face, and then...
Is it? Would this be? Oh, it actually would be
And
a
he's,
lethal setup. The opponent is absolutely nothing. But,
But
he has lethal
he's
board, right?
lethal on board against him. There's 19 showing.
Okay.
I guess he's hoping his opponent just misses the lethal here, and then
Hey.
he's able to win.
He's hoping for a disconnect. I mean, it happened to me, so that would be a regame, right? Yeah. No, actually, it's lethal on board, so it wouldn't be a regame.
Sure, yeah. He was just hoping maybe Fr0zen misses the lethal, because this is the only way he can set up lethal, and that's his only avenue to success there. He just has to hope he doesn't see it, and then bam, Call of the Wild can close out the game.
When the only target is face.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's the 0.001% you got to take, the next level opportunity. If it works out 1 in a billion times, it's worth taking that opportunity when you had no other play that leads to victory.
Somewhere in a parallel universe. SenX won that game.
Somewhere out there. So we have SenX coming out with the Warlock deck. It looks like Reno Lock. We haven't seen too much Reno Lock, but there's an Azure Drake, so maybe Dragon Lock? So you played against SenX. What's going on with this Warlock deck?
I mean, I lost 3-0 to his Pirate Warrior.
So you didn't get to even see
I
it?
didn't get to see many of his decks, but
Well,
I
don't
heard
worry.
I heard that Reno Lock is the best deck in the game if you draw the right cards.
He's
every
got
turn.
the right cards right now. He's got the Doomsayer on 2, into the Imkang Boss on 3, into the Twilight Drake on 4. That's a pretty curve. But at the same time, look at Fr0zen's hand.
Yeah. Looks like a pretty good deck to me so far, both of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, does he I think he runs double Feral Rage, right?
And usually 1 Feral Rage, 1 Mulch is the tech in the
Alright.
Yogg-Saron Druid. It's Feral Rage is a really great card, right? But there's a lot of matchups where the 4 attack isn't quite good enough, so it's a card that kind of comes in and out, and then there's a lot of matchups where Mulch is really good, and you just in general want a lot of spells, so a lot of players go back and forth on it, and it's more of a matter of preference than anything.
Is this like Dragon Malagos?
Dragon Malagos,
I mean,
maybe
he's Soulfire.
he may be like just running like Azure Drake and then like 2 Twilight Drakes to improve the consistency of finding the 4-drop because it's so powerful. And then maybe since you have 2 Twilight Drakes, you throw in 1 Azure Drake, then maybe like a Blackwing Corruptor. I've seen it done before. Yeah, just as a way to improve your consistency of drawing Twilight Drake because it's like one of the most crucial cards in Reno Lock, right? Having Twilight Drake on 4 improves your win rate the most out of almost any other card on 4, right?
And especially when there's no keeper that can deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we do see the Blackwing Corruptor. So I imagine that's the tech he's going with. It's something that a lot of players have done. It's not really too uncommon, and it's a great way to increase the consistency of just having that Twilight Drake on 4 in Reno Lock. And a lot of players have been using Tracker Bot and things like that to track their stats and realizing, hey, when I drop Twilight Drake on 4 in my Reno Lock, my win rate is this. And it's a lot better than what it is when I don't do it. So let's add 2 of those guys in there.
Is he thinking about, like, because it's his only dragon, that there's somewhere in a parallel universe where he would not play this Twilight Drake now?
Yeah, I guess that's the debate, isn't it? You
Because
really want to activate the Corruptor, right? Because you have no other turn 5 play currently.
Yeah, because usually you just snap play it, right?
Yeah, he's thinking about it. I would still play it here. You need
Yeah.
to contest the bear, right?
And he has the Argus, like worst case scenario. What's his worst case scenario?
Soulfire Argus, and that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So I like it a lot. I think it's kind of like a trap to think that you have to hold on to the dragon, but he's gonna try and he's gonna set up the Blackwing Corruptor for the following turn. So now when the bear trades into the when the bear trades into the Imp Gang boss, you now have the Blackwing Corruptor that's able to go off. It's a little bit slower, but it does get more value potentially.
But I mean, a druid usually runs like 5 to 6 5-drops. Like, there's a good possibility. It doesn't matter. He can trade his gang boss and then Corruptor.
Yeah, that's the plan.
But it feels like he could have gotten more value out of the Argus later. I don't know how many dragons. It's very important to know, like, how many dragons he runs. If he just has like 3 dragons.
I imagine it's only like it's 4 probably, because usually they also add in the Alexstrasza over the Draxus to make the.
So
4th.
if you would lose the Corruptor value, it's probably the right play to do for this run.
Sure, yeah, but he is going to get kind of punished by it here, but maybe not really, because the mulch would have came down on the Twilight Drake, for example, so it would have been a similar situation either way. So the line of him works out really well, and now he can develop the Twilight Drake with more certainty, knowing that it's not going to get completely destroyed by the mulch.
And after seeing Wrath and mulch, like, is the Doomsayer not even like also like a possibility, or would he fall too much behind?
That is interesting to think about, right?
Like, would you swipe it?
Yeah.
You would have to. But
you would have to, right?
But swipe hero power, like, it's the same board state then, and he doesn't really take damage, just 1 damage.
And then you get to develop Sylvanas out there, but it is kind of risky still. Like, you have seen, there's Living Roots as well that could pop the Doomsayer. There's other cards besides Mulch and Wrath. You gotta think about Living Roots, you gotta think about Swipe. A charged Druid of the Claw could screw you. So I think it's too risky to go with the Doomsayer. So I do like the line of just getting the Twilight Drake out there. Your Blackwing Corruptor doesn't have value in the immediate. You just need that big minion out there. And we see Power of the Wild plus Violet Teacher coming down. A pretty brutal combo just to get a lot of mana out on the board there for Fr0zen.
So first he saved the Drake for the Corruptor. Now he kind of went for it anyways. So I guess he wanted to Soulfire it, Siphon Soul it. But that doesn't look too good now.
Yeah, Siphon Soul doesn't seem too appealing. If he thinks he has the life total for it, Sylvanas isn't bad on this board. Just to be able to threaten to steal something and slow down your opponent. But you're looking at 11 damage and you're at 19. Even though there's no roars or anything like that in the Yogg Druid deck, it's still really scary to be taking that much damage without Reno Jackson in your hand. So
yeah, that's a classic fear.
Yeah, there's... Like, Hellfire does not feel good. You could potentially use, like, Hellfire, Soulfire to clear the entire board, but it feels disgusting and surrenders all the tempo back to your opponent. So there's just a large collection of mediocre plays here, really.
So probably...
Hey, is he going with the clear here?
Oof. Thank you.
It's so... Yeah, I guess you got to deal with it, right? The Violet Teacher is like so threatening because you're always afraid of more Power of the Wilds and more spells coming out of Yogg Druid. They run tons of spells, obviously. You get to keep your 4-1 around, but you know that the Druid's most likely going to be able to develop a 5-drop and hero power it off. 5-drop being the most dense mana slot in the Druid deck. They just have loads and loads of 5-drops, so you can expect that to happen. And it's not that bad of a spot, but it's still not pretty, you know.
Yeah. The thing is, I always try to utilize like every single card I have, so I would always think about a spot where I could just jam the Doomsayer, because the later the game goes, the more useless it will be. Like now I feel like now it looks even much worse than even against the 4-6.
Sure. I would have liked to see maybe Sylvanas just get jammed there, even though it gets traded off pretty easily by your opponent. It could potentially slow them down a little bit. And
wait, is that the second Argus?
That is a second Argus. There may not even be Reno Jackson in the deck.
That would be so interesting.
Then that means that the dragon count would be a lot higher, right? Yeah. We saw something like this a little bit earlier on with Xerxes. He plays a dragon warlock with 2 Sunwalkers in it, 2 Siphon Souls, and the whole dragon package.
That's why he went for the clear. He probably doesn't have Reno in the deck.
Probably not. He can't afford to take the damage then. Then he has to go for the clear there. So it's making a lot of sense. Seeing all these 2-ofs, we're piecing together why his line of play is the way it is. He just needs to avoid dying, and
now we have a SenX Warlock, man.
Yeah, the new SenX Warlock. I wonder if it'll be as popular as the SenX Hunter.
I mean, if it does well, that's a good start.
Well, it's gotten this far, hasn't it? So the Doomsayer gets cleared off. The Starfall off the Raven Idol. Pretty good pickup there.
Yeah, it looks very good for Fr0zen. I was hoping for a York finish, but so far those two wars will do the job, probably.
Probably, yeah. Especially if Siphon Soul comes out on this Drake here. A lot of times against the Yogg Druid, you're not really expecting the wars, but SenX does have the deck list available to him, so he is going to be expecting the Ancient of Wars potentially to be there. So he may want to be saving the Siphon Soul to be able to deal with that. So knowing that there's Ancient of Wars potentially looming around the corner, does he have to go for a tap here? He doesn't have great options. You don't want to just throw Sylvanas into Drake Hero Power, develop 7-drop, you know?
Especially when he knows Fr0zen is running like wars and stuff. Like, how does he deal with wars? He has only one Siphon Soul. Sylvanas is his only answer. This is a really, really bad spot for him.
Yeah.
Can he go for some... he can go for like Wolf, Peddler, Argus, and then Mortal Coil.
Yeah, sure. It sets up the nice coil.
Did you see a swipe? Yeah, right?
You've seen a swipe and he's seen a Starfall. He does go for the tap, though.
Double Siphon Soul!
Yeah, it may be that Dragon Warlock with the 2 Siphon Souls.
What the fuck? Hey, would you not run the... What was the 7/7?
Cho'Gall.
Cho'Gall!
With the Siphon Soul. If you're running 2 Siphon Souls, it might be worth it.
That's like the only situation where you would run Cho'Gall.
Alright, Sylvanas comes down.
That would be so funny.
Fr0zen does have the mana to just trade in his Azure Drake, use the hero power, and develop a 7-drop without too much fear if he wants, but this walks right into SenX's plan. I think SenX is making a read based on how long that Ancient of War has been in Fr0zen's hand, that is an Ancient of War. Fr0zen had opportunities to play minions at almost every mana cost and hasn't done so yet. So I think what SenX wants Fr0zen to do is hero power trade Azure Drake, play Ancient of War, and that opens SenX the ability to go Dark Peddler, 1-drop, Siphon Soul, and have tempo.
Or he just top decks Cho'Gall.
Or he top decks Cho'Gall and has the greatest tempo swing of all time.
That would be so sick, man. I want to see the Cho'Gall.
So Fr0zen takes this opportunity to draw some cards with Nourish, and now how does he deal with this? He has to deal with the Sylvanas, but he doesn't have the ability to really develop much. Well, with the 2 Innervates, I guess he can develop his Druid of the Claw.
He can develop...
He has... Oh, does he just have lethal?
Oh, what? No.
No, he's got really close to lethal. He knows the deck list.
Yeah.
He knows the deck list. We don't know the deck list.
Yeah,
so he must know that there's maybe no Reno in the deck list. He knows that it's a deck list of 2 ofs, and that's why he's taking this aggressive stance in the board, ignoring the Sylvanas, punching face, trying to just set up lethal with the swipe the following turn. But SenX is able to top deck the Alexstrasza and has a chance to maybe recover this.
Yeah, you attack. You cannot coil an Alexstrasza, which is really unfortunate, but you like Alexstrasza instead of Siphon Souling this turn and going for, like, steal the 4/4 and then just wait 1 turn. Like, how much? I mean, he knows that the only pressure the opponent has is either York or swipe.
He's seen 0 swipes, right? And he's seen 2 Druid of the Claws, and he's seen how many copies of Living Roots? So that's the scary part, right? It is like any combination of swiped Living Roots, or...
Yeah, I guess he's playing around Root Swipe.
Yeah, so it's a little scary.
Yeah, it's too scary. Like, that feels really safe, like, because he has to trade the 4/4 into the 5/1.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Well, he can trade the 4/4 into the 8/4, and then hero power, and then swipe, you know? Or hero power down the 5/1.
I mean, he has to trade it, that's like...
Sure,
yeah.
He just doesn't have the ability to go face, really, but he goes with the Raven Idol first, looking for potential lethal outs, maybe. He has 12 damage in his hand if he were to take the Bite here, or the Savage Roar. So 12, 13, he's 2 away from lethal.
I really wonder what SenX's win condition is, though, then.
And just outlasting his opponent, getting a bunch of dragons out, and having tempo. The one that Xerxes was playing had just like Sunwalkers for board control, and like Rag and Alex were the only 2 late-game win conditions.
Damn.
So now we see the Ancient of War coming out, and 2 Siphon Souls in the hand of SenX to deal with this Ancient of War while healing. And there's the Ragnaros, yeah. It seems very similar to the Dragon Warlock deck we saw earlier. It was like 2 days ago, it feels like. No, but a day and a half ago, you know.
Never Cho'Gall.
Never Cho'Gall. Honestly, if you're running 2 Siphon Souls, I think it might be good.
It has to be right.
You're onto something.
I mean, that's the perfect deck to run Cho'Gall.
The only deck to run Cho'Gall.
The only deck to run Cho'Gall, and he doesn't run Cho'Gall.
Yeah, he had a golden opportunity.
That would be such a crazy tempo swing, though.
Yeah. Absolutely nuts. But he does have some a semblance of board control now, and the Yogg Saron
Oh
picked
yeah,
up
win
for
condition.
Fr0zen.
Lethal. Come on. You can do it, bro.
Is this the board really to do it in, though? He does have the Cenarius,
It's lethal, man.
but he's got the Cenarius here.
Does he see it is the question. He didn't. Oh, worst case scenarios, man.
I like the play. I like the play.
Yeah,
Getting the
it's really
Cenarius
good.
out of your hand. You want to get your bigger minions out before you play Yogg Saron, just in case you accidentally discard your whole hand.
Yeah.
And this way allows him to, bait out more removal so that the Yogg Saron can stick, or maybe force your opponent to play a bigger minion or take on a bigger board. If there's a bigger board out there for Yogg Saron to remove, you're going to get more value out of it. So
Would you like to see the rack flip here? It would be a pretty damn good rack flip. To go rack into.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit ambitious. The Argus gives
guess.
you such secure board position, especially after a swipe has been used. And now is the question. I think this might be the board for the Yogg Saron.
He might miss lethal again. He did.
He's going with the draw, trying to find more spells, charging up the Yogg Saron for a better chance at closing out the game, looking for the second swipe maybe to clean up here. He does run 2 Feral Rages, it looks like.
Crazy.
So.
Oh, actually, is this the first one he just...
Yeah, I think actually, no. Yeah, this is the first one this game. The other one was the mulch, yeah.
But he has no more swipe, so it was nice, I think, to go for the Argus.
Yeah, the Argus, pretty solid play, taking 2 value trades there, and Fangel coming out, not having as much of an impact as it had in previous game, but still being quite strong here, able to make that Living Roots into an even better card. And
yeah, no Fangel, please. Double coil.
Double coil Rag. And then we're going to see the Yogg Saron come out as an answer to Ragnaros. I think that's what Fr0zen's waiting for. He's just waiting for that either Ragnaros or whatever big minion to come out that he has no way of dealing with, and then use Yogg Saron as kind of the last hope.
I mean, Fandral is like super freaking scary. He might just go for PO, Mortal Coil trade, and then Rag.
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause,
Fandrel's so
I mean-
devastating. He knows firsthand how scary Fandrel is.
Yeah.
Remember when he left it up last game? But it looks like he is going to take the 50-50 on it. He has seen Cenarius already, and both Nourishes, so there's not too many crazy cards that can happen with Fandrel. Ancient War becomes a 10-10, but...
Misplay, damn.
So, we may see Yogg Saron come out here, as the board is pretty unwieldy right now. Being able to... But no, he's going to go for the 10-10. He's just delaying it as long as possible.
Yeah, he gets +8 heal this turn.
Sure, yeah, he's got time. Might as well.
And a cute little 10-10.
Cute little 10-10.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
It's not too bad. It's able to tank a Rag Shot, which is pretty interesting as well. But yeah, holding out so hard on this Yogg Saron, I guess it is pretty risky, because if it doesn't take care of the Ragnaros, you're in a kind of awkward situation. The Hellfire here looks pretty nice. Able to take out the Fangel and set up the Rag Shot to be able to kill the 10-10.
Damn, he runs double Hellfire with just Farseer so far as healing.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be so. Maybe a second Farseer's in the deck somewhere.
That has to be like a really aggressive deck then.
Sure, yeah. We haven't seen any of the Sunwalkers yet, so it's a little bit different than Xerxes' version of the deck. But it's interesting to see...
Still no Chogaldro.
It's interesting to see someone making it so far with such an interestingly weird Warlock deck.
I've never seen a deck like this.
Really?
Like recently.
Recently, yeah. It was #1 Asia at the beginning of this season. It was like in like day 3 though, so not really #1 Asia, you know, just because it was so early on in the season that it just happened to be someone that hit around like 1st or 2nd legend.
Can Rag do it again?
Yeah, this 50-50 is super important, as if he isn't able to land the 50-50, that 10-10 puts a lot of pressure, and he's not even healing this turn, so if he misses the 50-50...
What? Wait,
Yeah.
what if he hits the 50-50 though?
Yeah, Rag just dies. What if he does hit the 50-50?
Rag is not happy about this turn.
That was an interesting play from SenX there.
I mean, that was so next level. He just.
If he hits the 50-50, he loses the Rag.
Yeah. That was.
Well, he conceded immediately after the play, so I don't think he was very happy with it himself.
Was that like a shame concede?
I guess. I feel like he maybe should have wanted to go for the heal there. Hope it hits the 50-50.
Fr0zen is winning, but he looks like he is.
He looks like he's the one losing, yeah.
He looks like this is the worst day of his life.
And he's feeling the pressure a bit, maybe. He's got Wild Growth again
He's
as
thinking,
Druid.
oh my god, Gara got 3-0 by this deck. Can I do it?
Yeah, maybe. He's
I don't
afraid
know
of
if
the
I'm
Pirates.
prepared.
Did you tell him about the Pirates?
Is Wild Growth enough? I don't know.
He's got Swipe, too. Swipe pretty good against Pirates.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Oh, would you keep it? Swipe?
I think with the Wild Growth, I think I would keep
Yeah.
the Swipe. Without the Wild Growth, I don't think so. But with the Wild Growth, it seems like a decent card to have.
But because he had like his hands like this, he missed the mulligan from his opponent.
Yeah, he wasn't really looking at it. So
I
a
mean-
loss of information a little bit, but he's just trying to, I guess, get focused. And top deck Living Root's absolutely huge against Pirates. Pirates play a lot of low health minions, and
Damn, that's like the god draw basically.
yeah, that's a good Druid draw.
What else do you want? Like, I don't know.
And we see SenX doesn't have really the god draw from Pirates. He may just be using Upgrade here just to clean up these Living Roots and try and pave the way for his minions to actually do work. Having Argent Horse Riders and having South Sea Deckhand, these are not great cards against Living Roots. So getting these roots out of the way seems like to be priority number one.
Yeah, Upgrade looks very tasty here, but
Mhm.
it might be wrong. And he actually decides to not go for it.
He goes for the War Axe instead, and then he can upgrade the War Axe
Yeah.
into a 4 damage weapon later on and get the charge back.
If you
Sure,
like
I can understand this line of play. But he does use the coin this way. I was
Yeah.
thinking more maybe he just goes for upgrade, hits a 1-1, and then next turn hits the other 1-1 and coins Argent Horse Rider. But yeah, this way, now he can go upgrade South Sea Deckhand, jam the
Do you think he's gonna waste another 4 damage to protect this? No
to
way.
protect the 2-1.
No way, right?
He is going to, yeah. That's
Wait.
7 damage that Living Roots was able to tank here.
Do you not just lose damage?
That is for the most part,
I mean,
yeah,
because
unless the South Sea Deckhand connects, it needs to connect 4 times to make up the loss in damage to protect it, yes. He's really putting a lot of faith in the deckhand.
he's like, you got this, man. Haha.
Well, it may work out for him. Board control is really important.
I mean, he has board control.
Yeah, that's true. And he's able to maintain it here using the Argent Horse Rider. Gets the South Sea Deckhand in there again. So it's connected twice now. 2 more times, and he's made up. But it looks like it's just going to be swept up here.
Schwepperino.
Bloodsail Cultist. That would have been nice to have while he still had the weapon around.
That would have been nice.
Yeah. Now it's unable to upgrade the weapon because there's absolutely no weapon to upgrade. So it's kind of a sticky situation for him. Emperor Fr0zen is a pretty good card to drop on turn 6, I hear.
Yeah. And he has the second Schwepperino.
Yeah, which is absolutely crushing against this Pirate Warrior deck that just has so many 1-health minions. It's so vulnerable to swipe almost all the time. And without any weapon, because he used it up, having to deal with those Living Roots, all of his cards are pretty useless now. Like this Dread Corsair would normally cost 0 because you have the weapon attached, and normally Bloodsail Cultist would then make your weapon even stronger. And now it's just clunky minions that he can't really play.
He has to go for the board control again, but maybe he's thinking, is there like even a way to win if he goes if he keeps going for board control?
Maybe, yeah, he's thinking maybe he just runs out of cards, right?
Yeah.
At this point, he really needs to top deck Arcanite Reaper, because that's the only card in his entire deck that's really, worth a lot of cards, because you're not going to win the game on the back of a 1-drop. But on the back of an Arcanite Reaper, that's 10 damage. You can win the game on that or control the
And
board
here
with it.
comes the $5 million swipe.
The
or-
$5 million swipe. Yeah, what is the prize pool advantage here? Like, what do you get from going from 16 to 18? You double your money from
16 to
750
18, you mean top 8.
Yeah,
You get points.
you get points too.
Yeah.
The swipe for the points.
It's like, how many points? I don't know. 3-point swipe.
3-point swipe. Not too bad on the Richter scale, huh?
It's good, man.
Feels good, man.
He's double nourished. That's pretty good when you're out of cards.
Yeah, not too bad. Especially when you have a taunt to hide behind. You have more health, more cards, more mana.
Let's get some heal, man.
Yeah, more health, more cards, more mana, more board control than your opponent. You're usually in a pretty good spot.
Goes for the 2016 combo.
The delayed super combo.
You're dead next turn, bro.
Sick
Live
force
combo.
of nature.
It's a 14 damage combo
Yeah.
next turn, bro.
Yeah, SenX just sitting here. Not again. The Druid combo all the time.
6.
Even in 2016.
Look at that, multi strike. playing the Shame Frothing Berserker afterwards to not get one attack.
Yeah, there's interesting sequencing there as well.
It basically means he gave up.
Yeah, I think it's maybe safe to say.
Oh my god.
But he's still here. He's still around, duking it out. Maybe he can string together a
You
couple
know-
of draws. Yogg Saron, if Fr0zen plays his own Yogg Saron, it could kill him. And that could allow SenX just an opportunity to wiggle his way back in this series.
I just hope that if he disconnects, that this is not a regame, because Lethal is not on board.
Yeah, them's the rules, though. So maybe that's also one of the opportunities SenX has. Gets that taunt up, make sure there's no lethal on board, so in case the disconnect
Next
happens,
level.
he can recover this and have another try, maybe.
Comeback of the gods. Can we see some Yogg Saron here? Come on, man.
That's the only way Fr0zen has a chance to really lose this game.
Imagine.
That would be pretty funny, though.
DM Yogg Saron and then he kills himself.
He could go for it, but looks like he's just trying to set up lethal with Ancient of War.
No
And
balls.
no balls. I want to see it, honestly.
Oh,
but we
yeah,
do see the attack mode. At least
the
attack
upload.
mode.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Classic. And that's going to be it. SenX can no longer prevent lethal being on board and hope for his disconnect out, so he is going to just bow down and concede. Fr0zen taking it 3-0 over SenX. Raven, what did you think about those games?
Those were some crazy games. You know, we spoke before the event, actually, and one of the decks you said was like, oh, you know, Yogg Druid's going to perform really well, and we didn't see too much of it, at least on stream, but, you know, Fr0zen just giving everyone a masterclass in how to control Yogg.
Yeah, Yogg Druid, I thought it was going to be a lot more prevalent than it really was, and Fr0zen's like a player that I playtest with, and we were playtesting Yogg Druid and talking about it and stuff, and it's pretty good, I think. And I think he demonstrated right there why it's pretty good. But at the same time, do you think SenX got maybe a bit tilted as the games went on or something towards the end there?
I think it's safe to say that those games really did not go SenX's way.
Yeah,
a lot of the
definitely
time.
not.
And after playing against, you know, Yogg Druid is rough at the best of times. And then when, you know, the games just aren't going your way, game after game, and even the last one there, we saw just nothing good come of that Pirate Warrior at the start. So that's kind of rough. But speaking of Fr0zen, here he is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, I mean, the set went pretty well for you overall, I would say. A pretty swift 3-0 with Yogg Druid. How has that deck performed from through the Swiss and through the rest of the tournament?
Through the Swiss, it's been really reliable. It's like every time I needed to win, it's been getting me the win. For this series, I definitely didn't expect this to be really easy. I thought his lineup actually stacked really well against mine, and but seeing how like Fandral and like the broken Druid, like really strong Druid cards in the set, like performed, like how I got the Fandral out and he didn't really react, or like the Emperor out. It really snowballed the games that I feel like are very unfavorable matchups for me. Also, you didn't get like the pivotal cards in the matchup, like Camel, Desert Camel, which would have brought out the 2-4, which probably would have swung me in those games.
Yeah, it went really well so all the way. You know, any highlight moments for you guys in the set?
What were you thinking when your opponent played down the Doomsayer with the Ragnaros on board?
I was really confused because I feel like since he didn't have that much burst left in his deck, I was just calculating like before the turn, like if there's any way he could just go like a Corruptor, Soulfire in my face and put me to 8 or something, go for something strange. I figured that I counted and couldn't figure anything out. And then I just saw him play Doomsayer. I was just like, wait, if it killed my guy, this guy kind of dies too. And if it doesn't kill my guy, I just win. So I was pretty happy in that moment. Definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, that was my highlight too. Congratulations
Also,
for this, and thanks for the revenge, because I got 3-0 by SenX. So yeah, it's a good
definitely.
day.
It was a good match for you to cast.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was
the correct match to bring Gar on for a guest cast.
Oh yeah. Also in the matchup against the Warlock, I had Yogg for a few turns, but I figured that knowing his lineup, I could outvalue him with the cards in my hand, and that I didn't really need to go for the Yogg. And there are like, I feel like I'm very like not as lucky as other people with Yogg, you know.
I don't know. You did say just earlier that the Yogg deck was reliable.
Yeah, it's
which are two phrases that don't normally go together, but
it's reliable. But this entire tournament, I've played Yogg like once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that's actually the sign of someone who can play that deck quite well, because I think a lot of the problems is players see Yogg and it's like, oh, I'll play it and just see what happens. When really, if you're ahead, there's no need to. A lot of it is more of a comeback mechanic than anything else.
For sure.
But no, congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow. You've got the rest of the evening, some of tomorrow morning to prep for your match. Are you feeling confident to take on the rest of the tournament? Because obviously you've seen all the lineups from all the other players as well.
Yeah, I definitely like the lineup. My lineup going forward, I think I have a very good shot of winning the tournament, actually.
Confidence. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So thanks a lot again. Congratulations. So yeah, that's going to be it for the day for us. And we've got our top 8 now, and that have gone through from the top 16. They started in the Swiss, played all day, 9 rounds, going into top 16, and now we have our top 8. So as we can see now, that's a pretty nice top 8, guys.
Pretty nice. Yeah, we saw most of the players that are in the top 8 play, or did we get to see all of them?
I think we've seen all of them.
Yeah, they're all the players.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We've seen all of them at one point.
Yeah, at one point or another, sure. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with most of the players we saw here today. We saw Tessin having a pretty dominant 3-0 performance, but also doing kind of some unique things. He's showing that he really understands the matchups. And we didn't actually get to see Hoy play, at least.
Oh, yeah, Hoy.
Yeah,
Hoy's
Hoy
the
we
one
missed
player.
out on.
But this is, so we spoke to Hoy because he actually mentioned it. I sat over to talk to some of the players, and Hoy was like, yeah, you just don't want to put me on stream, do you? And we're like, Hoy, we knew you'd get top 8. It's fine. We were just waiting to stream your top 8 match.
Sure.
But we are going to... We do have the schedule actually for tomorrow as well, so you can see when to tune in and what's going to happen with the round of 8 matches. We are going to play all of the matches on stream tomorrow, the semi-finals and the grand final, and find out who our champion is. So we're going to start at 1:15 and go on from there. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, looking really forward to it. Can't wait to see who ends up walking away with the trophy.
Yeah, it's a nice trophy.
It's a nice trophy, not too shabby.
And obviously those, as you guys were discussing with the value of the swipe, those sweet HCT points, which is very important.
So important, so important. It basically means you don't have to play ladder, which I don't know if you've ever played ladder for 30 hours straight, but oh my God, it is one of the most grueling experiences ever, and all you have to do is win one tournament. You're qualified for the HTC, basically. You don't have to worry about grinding the ladder, and you can just focus on preparing for tournament, because tournament is just a totally different beast than ladder.
Yep.
So it's different practice that goes into each, so you get more focused in on what you actually have to do for the prelims as well. So it's pretty big edge, honestly.
Yeah, it's a really big bonus. But that's going to be it for us today. Gara, thanks a lot for joining us on the desk for the last match. We'll maybe see you tomorrow return as well.
It's a pleasure.
Always is. But yeah, we're going to be done for the day, guys. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching today, and be sure to tune tomorrow for the top 8, and we'll find out who is going to be our grand final champion.